Alright, we live. Yep. Yep.
Shalom, shalom. We'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to
Power
Yahweh,
by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem Kakadash.
double honors to the apostles and elders, great wisdom, great mess, and salutations to the whole collect women out there pushing the word, sincerity, and the truth. I wish we allowed them to do so. Of course, there have been women and children, which make up the whole collect body of the Mashiach and Yahushua, who bore with the blood of Jesus Christ. We like to say peace and blessings upon you, the Holy Spirit, of the Crocodile. The spirit that moves us to prophesy the downfall of America, because the downfall of America will happen in our lifetime, whether you look like you believe it or not, man. That's biblical prophecy, man. We come out here to preach to our people, so-called black Hispanics, Native Americans, true chosen people of the Lord, of the upcoming prophecy, which is to happen in the fall of our lifetime, man. Actually, let's start off with Revelation. This is Revelation chapter 22, verse 10. It says, "And he said unto me, seal not the sayings of the prophecies of this book, for the time is at hand." See that the sealing of the prophecies of this book is not sealed no more, man. Alright, what event did you have that took place that caused the prophecies not to be sealed anymore? Well, Yahushua, him coming on the scene roughly about 2,000 years ago, sealed all unloosed the seals, right? Let me get Hebrews first chapter, and then let me get chapter 1. Yahushua really unloosed the seal. See that when Yahushua, when he came on the scene roughly 2,000 years ago, him dying on the cross, making that sacrifice, right? He unloosed the seal, right? Unlocking the understanding that we needed in these last days to understand of this book, man. Alright, he was worthy to unloose the seal. Alright, read that first. You start out with.
This Hebrews 1, verse 1, it says, "The Most High, who has sundry times and in diverse manners, spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets."
Right? And that's how the Lord always spoke. Right? The Lord always spoke through his prophets. Right? It's been like that since the beginning of time, and it's like that to the very day, to present day. Right? The Lord at sundry times always spoke through his prophets, man. Right? Whether prophets such as Isaiah, Jeremiah, of Ezekiel, the vision that you see with the third World War, we're seeing that take place right before our very eyes. And this is how the Lord forewarned us of being in danger. He spoke by the prophets. Alright? So read that one more time.
This is Hebrews 1, verse 1. It says, "The Most High, who has sundry times and in diverse manners, spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets."
Right?
Verse 2, "Have in these last days spoken unto us by his Son, whom he has appointed heir of all things, and by whom also he made the world."
See that? By whom he also made the world. And the Lord speaking to us by his Son, who is that? And of course, we know it to be Hamashiach Yahushua, and that was roughly about 2,000 years ago. That's when the last days began. Alright? When Yahushua came on the scene and spoke, that was the beginning of the last days. And we're living in the bitter end of it. Right? When Yahushua already made that sacrifice, he unloosed the seal. Now we have complete understanding of what we're supposed to understand. Right? He unloosed the seal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? John saw the angel have 7 seals on the book.
Shouldn't be facing us.
The number 7.
Right here.
It's a number of completion. Meaning what? Without the sacrifice of Yahushua, the book would be completely sealed. Right?
Shit, wow, bro. Right, shit.
proclaiming with a loud voice,
Yeah.
who is worthy to open the book and to loose the seals thereof? Right?
Chinese.
And no
It's
man
gonna
in
be
heaven
impossible
nor
to
in
charge
earth,
though, bro.
neither under
That's
the
just
earth,
that guy.
Yeah,
is
it
able to
is.
open the book,
How much you
neither
want?
to look thereon. See that? Neither to look thereon. So there was no man on earth. There was not even an entity in heaven. No angel was worthy to loose that seal. But Yahweh Shai. See, Yahweh Shai, when it's coming to prophecy and understanding the prophecy, Yahweh Shai is the master key that we need to unlock the understanding. Without that, we wouldn't have what we have today, man. We wouldn't know who we are. We wouldn't know, what did it say? You don't know who you are, you don't know where you're going. We wouldn't understand none of that, man. You know? This is why Yahweh Shai is worthy of all the praise. You know? He was worthy to do such a great event. Unlock the seven seals that was on that book. Alright? It says, Revelation 5 and 4, and I wept much because no man was found worthy to open and to read the book, neither to look thereon. And one of the elders said
Cancel it and
to
try
me,
to change your
"Weep not.
orientation.
Behold, the lion of the tribe of Judah, which is Yahweh Shai, the lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, has prevailed to open the book and to loose
both
the
like
seven seals thereof." The
God,
lion of the
cancel
tribe
it.
of
Start
Judah,
your
and then it says what? The root of David, right? Going into what? Yahweh Shai coming out of the loins of King David, right? Because his biological mother and father and mother had sex, man, right? Yahweh Shai, that had to happen for Yahweh Shai to be the Messiah, man. So this is why it mentions such things. Yahweh Shai being the root and the offspring of King David, man. All right? And he was worthy to loose those sins. Verse 6 it says, and I beheld, and lo, in the midst of the throne, and the four beasts, and in the midst of the elders, stood a lamb, as it had been slain, having 7 horns, 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of Yahweh. Read verse 5. Verse 5. Revelation 5 and 5. One of the elders said unto me, weep not. Behold, the lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, has prevailed to open the book and to loose the 7 seals thereof. So now, us living in the last days, now we can understand what the book of Revelation is talking about. Because when you read about the mark of the beast, when you read about the beast, it's not talking about actual dragon with 7 heads, seven heads.
See,
You know?
this.
It's not talking about that, man.
Yeah, I gotta put the timer on.
Understanding this, realizing the sacrifices that Yahweh Shai did, giving us this understanding, we now understand that that beast that it's talking about actual kingdoms of actual nationalities of people, which are the Edomites, man. Right? It's talking about the 7 kingdoms of the Edomites. And the horde that rideth upon that beast is, guess what? It's not talking about a woman riding upon a damn magical dragon. It's talking about America, man. Utilizing and performing all atrocities throughout the world using NATO and the EU. Being backed by that power, man. So the war that rideth upon that beast is America, Babylon the Great, mystery daughter of Babylon, man. Alright? We wouldn't understand this without Yahweh Shai unloosing the seals of this book, unloosing the 7 seals of this book. You know? So jump back to Revelation 22. It's Revelation chapter 22 and verse 10. It says, and he saith unto me, seal not the sayings of the prophecies of this book, right? For the time is at hand. See that? So this is why the sayings of the prophecy of this book is not sealed anymore, man. And the reason why is because the time is at hand, man. We're very close, man, to the actual end, the bitter end, the final destination, man. We're so close to it, man. You got so many things in the world popping off at once, man. It's not like, for example, you got World War III being talked about years ago, and then you got something new popping up, you know? No, it's World War III is being talked about simultaneously with them introducing this new technology where people is going to have to make payments whether through their hand or their forehead via a microchip, man. You know? While at the same time, you got the Roman, the modern day Roman Empire pretty much imploding on itself, financially, morally,
Politically.
And dance on politically, man. You know, all these things are happening at once, man. That's how we know we at the end, the end of the end, man. You got a precept, bro?
Yeah.
You go, bro.
This is Isaiah 47, verse 1. It says, "Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon."
See that Babylon is about to come and sit in the dust, man. It's sitting in the dust right now, spiritually through a confusion, because that's what dust represents. But also the dust represents what a lower state, which Babylon the Great is going to witness in these upcoming days. All right, when it's taken down by these superpowers such as Russia, China, and Iran, man, and ultimately the second coming of the Lord, man. All right, Babylon will and shortly to come will sit each other, man. All right, keep reading.
Yeah.
There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate.
Yeah, the Chaldeans, when you look up the Chaldeans, they was proficient in witchcraft.
Shit
man.
works.
Right?
Shit don't work.
That's what got their kingdom moving. That's what they were doing. Right?
It also says in the same chapter.
Well, yeah.
Verse
And
2.
we know that the witchcraft of the miracles through television, the different sorceries that they actually do, the seances that they do, to keep this
Right here,
kingdom
check
going.
mark right there.
It's not working no more. Right? Because the power that they've been worshiping this whole time wasn't the God of the Bible. It was Satan. Right? And the Lord is now
He said it's in the live settings, so they're doing advanced settings.
Yo, that's the thing. Advanced settings don't show that.
I think it does. Because I remember having this. I remember having this problem before.
It says, "He that liveth forever created all things in general. The Lord your
Like
house
right before we go live, you should be able to have the
and
option
there
to
is
set the
none other
orientation.
but He.
Yeah.
Who governeth the world
Do a
with
hard
the
time.
arm of
Yeah.
His hand, and all things obey His will, and
He
He,
locked
for
it
He
in
is the
place.
King of all."
Yeah, he said all things obey his will, man. Whether it wrote in the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. He ruleth over all things, whether it be physical or spiritual, man. Alright? People gotta realize that the Lord controls Satan. Alright? I know it's a hard concept to believe because in the damn Christian church they tell you that God is against Satan. But what religion or what philosophy does that also sound like? That they probably got that shit from? Greek mythology, man. You know? So in real terms, in reality, the Lord has complete control over Satan. Right? And for a short time period, the Lord allows Satan to give Esau power. But now that power is being revoked, man. And it's being revoked drastically. I mean, sharp, man. You know? Here it is, people don't even respect the USA no more, man. I remember years ago, USA, they was talking to USA being best at everything in the Olympics. A lot of US is losing a lot of shit in the Olympics, man. People don't want to join their military no more. I mean, this shit it's a circus, man. You know? And then what you got going politically, it's literally a circus, man. I ain't never seen nothing like this in my 29 years of living. You know? I remember the political parties, the presidential elections were taken serious. You ain't even had no sexy wedding and what's it called? Megan Stallion at performing for the nominee, presidential nominee. You know? But this is going into the Roman implosion, man. Alright? What's it called? An explosion within itself. Alright? That's what Babylon the Great is witnessing right now, man. Alright? You got upcoming civil wars happening. Alright? The tension between civil wars. The markets is collapsing on itself. Bubbles, financial bubbles about to burst, man. Alright? You have to end, man.
It says, "All things obey His will, for He is the King of all. By His power, dividing holy things among them from profane."
Verse 8 says, "Therefore hear now this, that thou that art given the pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that saith in thy heart, I am and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. Verse 9. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood.
Yeah, and what it means that when it says it was talking about the mentality of the Edomites that's ruling Babylon the Great. It said what? I sit as a widow, and read that part again.
Verse 8. It says, I am and none else beside me.
Yeah, I am and none else beside me, meaning what? That the mentality of this place is that it can't be judged by the Lord. Alright? For so long, I mean, look at the atrocities that this place committed over, its tenure of rule. It had the Lord's chosen people in slavery. Alright? The sins of this place reached up into the heavens. I mean, and it's still no major judgment happening. Yeah, it's been the hammer of the whole earth, committing war crimes throughout the whole earth, hasn't been judged. So this is why it has this mentality. I sit as a widow, and there's none else beside me. They believe that they can't truly be judged. This is why the scripture says in the next verse, what? These two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, man. And then when you jump to Revelation, within that day, it tells you the time frame is going to happen. 1 hour, man. So read that.
This is Isaiah 7, verse 8. It says, therefore, hear now this, thou that art given pleasure, that dwellest carelessly, that sayest in thy heart, I am and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. Verse 9. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries, and for the great abundance of thine enchantments.
See that for the great abundance of thine enchantments. That's how this place has been functioning for so long, man. The enchantments. People won't realize that this place is heavily wicked, man. Right? It's heavily wicked. It's a cluster of demons roaming around this place. Right? It's bad, man.
And also, right quick, also, when you go into the enchantment and the sorcery, witchcraft, understand there's a lot of acts of witchcraft that you may not necessarily be aware of. Like example, like feminism is witchcraft, right? Like when people, they call it the word right now, it's like gaslighting, right? When you being gaslit, that's witchcraft, because you're like, hold up, if the sky is blue, right, or powder blue, and if somebody's telling you, nah, man, after doing research, statistics, fact checkers, all that, well, now people realize that the sky is actually reddish. Well, that can't be the case. Well, that's witchcraft. Right? There's a lot of Jedi mind tricks going on in the United States, and the primary target are the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Right? You're the primary targets of what? Of Jedi mind tricks, witchcraft, sorcery. Right? Now, recently, I think last month, you had on the Bohemian Grove, right? You had those Edomites constantly going to the Bohemian Grove in July. What do they do in the Bohemian Grove? Right? They pray to the Owl of Moloch. Oh, right, same thing. So they pray to the Owl of Moloch of the Hall, and they put curses on so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. There's a reason why our people act the way they act. Right? The foolishness that's going on, has to do with witchcraft, right?
Isaiah 47, verse 9, it says, but these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood.
Wait, now, in one day, the loss of children. Now, we're going to witness the loss of children soon, but that one day, ultimately, is talking about thermonuclear missiles. All right? Because we know when the nukes hit Babylon the Great, when the nukes hit this place, everybody that's found in America is going to be put to death. All right? This is something that we've had visions about it. It's in the scriptures. All right? And we firmly believe that this is going to happen. And now more than ever. All right? Why? Because all these nations are getting ready and getting geared up for the third world war. All right? You get that on matter of fact, you get second Ezra's now. And then hold on, you know. But I want to read second Ezra's 9 and start it.
It's the book of Second Ezra. It's the book of Second Ezra, chapter 9, verse 1. And it says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest one of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then thou shalt understand that is the very same time when the highest will begin to visit the world with
Right.
his
So when you diligently watch and you pray and you watch the prophecy and you measure the time, what happens, you realize that, hey, the things that are happening are according to the scriptures, all right? The things that are happening are according to the scriptures. So if they're according to the scriptures, that means what? That means the Lord is coming back, all right? And what does that mean, the Lord is coming back? Well, Yahushua is coming back to destroy this society, all right? To replace the society with a righteous society, where we're going to have righteousness, we're going to be perfect, all right? And then we're going to do away with all this wickedness, man, all these Jedi mind tricks, man. Because this society really is wearing, like, it'll wear you out, man, because it's a constant battle. Every day, you step outside, every day you turn on the TV or you turn on YouTube, like, whatever you watch, it's all abominations, man. All right? It's abominations and temptations. And you constantly have to fight this day in and day out. And what it does, it kind of wears you eventually. So the Lord sees the pain of the saints. So what he's going to do now, he's going to start to bring down the nations. All right? He said that in Zephaniah, that he's going to bring down the nations. So we have to just continue to be patient.
And it says, verse 3, and it says, therefore when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the
Right,
world,
earthquakes and uproars of the people. We starting to get uproars of the people.
and it says, verse 4, and it says, and then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before.
Yeah, I mean, you got a lot of nations right now. They are in the brink of total collapse. And like you have, talking about civil war, you got a civil war coming to America. You got a civil war coming to America. Then you got a civil war going on in the Middle East. All right, there's a place called Bangladesh. They're killing each other over there. You got a civil war going on in Venezuela. A lot of these people, a lot of these nations are actually going through what? They're going through changes. All right, they're going through changes, and their changes, a lot of the issues is what? It's political. Why? Because everything right now is political. Now, whether you care about politics or not, you don't have a choice but to be aware of politics. Why? Because politicians pass laws. All right, they pass laws that affect you. When you look at your own, when you look at your check, when you look at the inflation, because now they just acknowledge that we're in a full-blown recession. Well, we've been in a full-blown recession. If you just wait, if you're constantly waiting for the government to tell you what's going on, you always going to be behind. All right, you always going to be behind. We've been in the damn recession. All right, for a long time, like going on what, almost 4 years. All right, because when Trump was in office, what he was able to do was able to dump money in the market, so it was able to hide, the inflationary numbers. But Trump didn't do anything in particular. They were just dumping money to make you people fall asleep financially. But then when Biden came in, they removed the mask and were like, nah, we're gonna pull the plug on this society. And now that the plug is being pulled, everybody has to worry about politics. And it's not only here in the United States, all these nations are being affected financially. All right? The price of living, the cost of living is going up around the world. It's not just in the United States. All right? It's just that the people here feel the brunt of it. Why? Because of the lifestyle. The American lifestyle is different than the lifestyle that anybody else lives in the world. Because see, in the world, the rest of the world, they do something that's called minimalizing, right? They know how to minimalize. But the United States, people not used to minimalizing. This is the place of, they had the golden cup, all right? Where riches, where people throw away food. This is a place where you got people, they live off of like other people's scraps. Like they go behind, but what's the name of these? They're not hoarders. They're
Dumpster divers.
dumpster divers, right? You got dumpster divers, they got mad food in their refrigerator. And they're like, damn, look at all this food I got this week. They don't even have to buy for groceries or pay for groceries, right? This is the type of land that we're talking about. Now that their standard and their lifestyle is being taken down, people are very comfortable. Because they still want to, because you got to understand, the rent is high, everything is high, but people, the thing that's killing people is that they want to keep the same similar lifestyle that they've always had whilst paying these high-ass rent. They don't want to cut back on things. They're being forced to cut back. All right? And the scripture speaks about that. And also, I think it's second Ezra, either 15 or 16. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, because the Ra'ash, you know, is absolutely right. Because you remember, you even go back like 10 years ago, people used to, companies used to build up houses like crazy. They still do. But what do you see getting built up even more? Apartment complexes. People the downside.
Shit. Just one being built right there.
Yeah, people are, right? Because remember, part of the Great Reset is getting people out of home ownership into like renting. You know what I'm saying? So the prices are going up, everything is going up. The only thing you're gonna be able to do is really rent. You're gonna have a whole bunch of roommates. Hey, dog, you ready for the Civil War? He said, yeah. I mean, there ain't really no way to get ready for that, right?
We ain't ready for no Civil War, brothers.
And it's coming, man. It's coming, according to the Bible. He said, hell no. I mean, but to be honest, how do you even get ready for something like that? The only way is spiritual. All you have to have faith, because we standing here, we haven't witnessed what a Civil War is. All we know, we've seen movies, right? But we know the history. But this Civil War is going to be different. It's not going to be like the first Civil War when you had the North and the South meeting up somewhere and killing each other. Nah, this is going to be a Civil War where the whole society is going to be in just a total war. It's going to be neighborhoods like banging on neighborhoods, basically. Why? Because you're going to have neighborhoods that are full Republicans, full red. And then they're going to bang on neighborhoods that are full blue. And then who are the majority who are the minorities that's usually acquainted or linked to the blue states? It's the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right? You damn Democrats. And then, because you're getting caught up in this politics when you voting for Democrats, and now a lot of you dumbass niggas now you want to move red and you want to vote for Trump. There is no answers here, man. All right, this place is going to be destroyed, man.
This is Matthew 24 and verse 6. It says, and ye shall hear of wars and of rumors of wars, seeing that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass.
Yeah, all these things must come to pass. Go on.
But the end is not yet.
Right, but the end is not yet. All right, so what? Because it's the beginning of sorrow. When all hell starts to break loose, it doesn't mean that Yahweh Shai is going to show up immediately. Why? Because certain things have to take place, right? You have the microchip, all right? The mark of the beast has to be established. A lot of people have to be judged. People have to be thrown in concentration camps and tempted with the microchip, the mark of the beast. People have to experience death by famine. Some people have to experience death by what? Creatures, animals. All these different things have to take place. All right? And if all hell was to break loose now, and then the Lord shows up a month after, then you wouldn't have all these prophecies take place. All right? The third world war has to take place. What?
It says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places.
That's why famine, pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places. We've been prophesying about this for decades, man. But we are so glad and so joyful that it's finally happening. You know what I'm saying? It's finally, we can sense that we are finally in that season where all these prophecies are going to come to pass, all right, at a rapid rate. Go ahead.
It says, all these things are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake.
That's right, and you're going to be hated, so they're going to deliver. Something is going to happen to things. We understand that the majority of the elected will be delivered in the sense that they're going to be delivered alive. Right? And we hoping to be part of that number. But either way it goes, as long as you're a part of the elect, it don't really matter you know, how that process takes place. You know, you have to be put to death. It is what it is. It's going to be a glorious way out, right? But as far as like dying the dog's death, that's not going to happen to the elect, all right? That's going to happen to 2/3 of you wicked Negroes, Hispanics, and their brothers. Y'all are the ones that's going to be dying these crazy ass deaths out here. The men of the Lord is not going to get caught up in some false flag operation from the government. Nah, it's going to be a regular nigga spitting like that. All right?
This is Acts 14, and I'm going to start at verse 22. It says, confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in faith, and that we must, through much tribulation, enter into the kingdom of the Most High.
It's like the much tribulation, man. Trials and tribulation, meaning it's non-stop. Like a lifetime. This, you know what they call? They have trophies where they call lifetime achievements. Like this is a lifetime achievement. You don't look, you can't be short-sighted when it comes to this truth. You gotta be up the mind that, hey, as close as we are, you gotta be up the mindset that, hey, as close as we are, even if this thing had to take a whole life, right? Like you have to fucking do. Because if not, when do you get to the point where you're like, you know what, I'm done being righteous. Now I'm just gonna be cool with being wicked now. Because you're either gonna be righteous till you die, right? Through faith, or you're gonna be wicked. So to us, it's a lifetime achievement, all right? And we just happy that the Lord is showing signs that He doesn't plan on having us here for another fucking 10, 15, and 20 years. He's showing us signs that he's about as, you know, fed up about this place as we are. Because, you know, if it was up to us, man, we would have been out of here yesterday. You know what I'm saying? We would have been out of here yesterday. If the Heavenly Father, that's why the Lord hasn't given us spiritual powers yet, because if He had given us spiritual powers, man, brother would have been doing some wild stuff. We would have, we would have pushed the envelope. Because you talking about I can fly? Like, man, let me fly out of Babylon, man. I'm flying out of Babylon and I just fly back in every Saturday. The Lord ain't gonna let that happen, because then you're not gonna face the trials and tribulations. Right? You're gonna go out and not deal with these niggas. The Lord wants you to see these niggas, man. The Lord wants you to feel this pain of being stranded here. Now, somebody would say, well, you can get a passport. But the thing is, you get a passport. I was just online. The Spirit just hopped on me, man. I was watching this show in the UK, right? The Spirit hopped on me. And I was like, let me check if they got child support in the UK. And I checked and said, yep, they got child support. It's called child maintenance support. That's what they call it. And then it even said in the bottom, if the United States puts child support on you and you in the UK, that the UK will implement that shit on you, bro. So you can't run from that shit, bro. So if you happen, let's say you happen to travel, like you took a passport, you went to the UK, right? And then your terrorist baby mama, right? Your terrorist baby mama was like, yo, I want money from this dude. She can go to child support, and they were like, well, where he at? She said, well, he's in the UK right now. They'll contact, the United Kingdom, and they're gonna trace your ass, right? Put that child support on you, right? Just switch the finances from the US dollar to the pound, and you're gonna be paying child support in the UK, from the UK to the US at the request of the United States. So you're a slave wherever you go, right? All right? So that's why your house shot gotta come back and deliver us out of this craziness. And us having spiritual powers, what you think? You think we would do that? Your house shot was able to do that. He was able to have spiritual powers and let himself be trampled over. But see, your house shot is greater than us. We know who we are. If we were given the spiritual powers, man, it'd be some wrecking out here. Yeah, man, it'd be some wrecking out here, bro. So look at this, hey, we just be honest. All right? Just be honest.
The second Matthew 8, we start at verse 50. It says, for many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. Verse 51, but understand thou for thyself, and seek out the glory for such as be like thee. Right? Verse 52, for unto you is paradise open. The tree of life is planted. The time to come is prepared. Right, plenteousness is made ready. A city is builded, and rest is allowed. Yea, perfect goodness and wisdom.
That's right, perfect goodness and wisdom. Right? The kingdom of heaven is being prepared. That city, that great city of freedom is being prepared, man. I mean, that's the first thing. Because, you know, a lot of times we talk about how we're going to be dominant in the kingdom. We're going to have this, we're going to have that. Man, there's steps to everything, man. Let's just think about just being free first. Can we just do that? Can we just be liberated first? You know what I'm saying? Because it's a transition, right? Before we can start dominating and taking over the earth and kicking Esau's ass, man, let's just first think about can we just be saved? You know what I'm saying? Let's just be saved first. All right, let's be saved first. Because even when Yahweh shall come back and deliver his elect, what's going to happen? The scripture tells you in Ezekiel 39 that he's going that we're going to be in the wilderness. All right, and he's going to plead with his people out in the wilderness. So we're just going to just soak us, like just chill and just let this settle in. And yo, we just got delivered, and Babylon the Great, the United States is no longer. All right, that's going to be a great thing. And then we can go out and take over the earth. Right? That's what we got.
Verse 53, the root of evil is sealed up from you. Weakness and the moth is hid from you. And corruption is fled into hell to be forgotten.
Yeah, there's corruption. Because you got corruption here, and everything in the United States and Babylon the Great is corruption. It's corruption, it's lies and deceptions. All right?
Our bodies are corrupt.
That's right, the bodies are corrupt as well. So yeah, the life, the lifestyle is corrupt. And the body is corrupt. So again, you have a battle where, because I was talking to my beloved, and I was just explaining to her, man, listen, you gotta understand, the way that the United States was built, all right, the way the United States was constructed, spiritually, it's constructed to call upon all of your carnal senses, all right? This is the perfect land, like Babylon the Great, America is the perfect land of trials and tribulation, because these bodies that we have resonate with Babylon, right? That's why we fight. That's why when the scripture speaks about temptation, it's why? Because you fighting the calling, something that's calling. So what's calling? All right, the spirits, the demonic spirits, the lifestyle, everything is calling upon the flesh. When you see people out here living lavishly, damn, sometimes for a quick second, damn, that's that call. And then the demons are, well, you know what it takes. You know what it takes to do it. All you gotta do is do this. All you gotta do is do that. And the thing is, you know that there's a 50% chance that you can do that. And you can end up like, because you see these non-talented Negroes out here making money, right? You see these songs, man, niggas can't talk, niggas can't sing, they can't rap, they can't do shit. Man, they get propped up by the so-called Jews, right? By Amalek, they get propped up and all of a sudden they make money.
Yeah, he was like, what call where? I was like, he at work. He at work.
So you think we couldn't do what they're doing? Of course we could. But we're not wicked. We're not willing to destroy ourselves and to destroy our people for filthy lucre.
It's the book of 1 John chapter 2, verse 15. And it says, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world.
Right.
If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in you.
Yo, you know what's crazy? The Christians read that shit, man, when the whole time being in Christianity is the world. Every Christian is in the world. If you're a Christian, you're in the world. But they'll read it and say, well, love not the world. I mean, you are the world. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're talking about Jesus Christ. You're talking about Jesus Christ. You are the world, man. What do you mean? Love not the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, you are the world, man. Go ahead.
If I can say this, they agree with everything in the world.
Yeah.
Like you had that pastor Michael Todd actually did a video on it like last week. But you had that pastor Michael Todd talking about he wishes that the Lord made an option for other in the kingdom, instead of male and female.
You see that?
So he's trying to appeal to the masses of people.
Yeah, he's trying to appeal to the transgender. He's trying to appeal to the transgender community. Why? Because it's part of the world. So Christianity is finally revealing its head Because you know Christianity is put on the mask of ages, right? And this had us completely bamboozled. But now, because remember, what is it now? We're at the end of the world. What happens at the end? Everything is revealed. This is we live in a time of revelation, so everything is being revealed. And what's being revealed is that Christianity ain't nothing but the world. All right? Christianity is the biggest pusher of the world, man. Christianity pushes the world through the Bible. Think about that. That's witchcraft. Christianity pushes the world through the scriptures, manipulating the scriptures, right? Talking about, well, you already saved. What the fuck is that all about?
It's like 6 of them.
Yeah, your sins are already forgiven. You saved because you believe in Jesus. You're like, well, I can't be saved. That's a lie. And then you talk about Jesus. Who the fuck is Jesus? So it's just lies upon lies to pacify you, to have you embrace this world. Read that again.
This is the book of 1 John, chapter 2, verse 15. And it says, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in it.
Right? Love the Father's not in it.
For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, is not of the Father, but of the world.
Yeah, but in Christianity, in these churches, they still preach about prosperity. All right? I bet you these pastors ain't talking about the recession that's coming down the pipe. They're not talking about the civil war that's coming. A lot of you so-called Negroes, man, you're going to be ambushed. You're going to be ambushed by false flag operations. Because the thing about these elites, man, they're going to stir up a civil unrest. They're also going to stir up a racial divide, all right, and racial hatred at its highest point. And how are they going to do that? They're going to set up false flag operations. Remember the movie The Purge? If you remember The Purge, I think The Purge in Ireland, Long Island.
Yeah, Staten Island.
Staten Island is the first Purge. Remember what happened with them boys, right? The white boys pulled up with bikes. And they went out there and they lit up niggas in the church. They come to find out these were mercenaries, acting as if they were like hillbillies and shit. So that's the type of shit you're gonna see. Do not be surprised at any point in time right now you just wake up and you just hear breaking news, a church, you just had a church massacre, and then you have painted signs of Negroes and, you know, Nazi signs and shit, footage of skinheads coming in here, lighting niggas up, right? And then they're gonna blame it on, you know, the Trump supporters and all that. And rightly so, you're gonna have Negroes gonna be mad, Negroes gonna be angry, which the scripture says in Isaiah that Jake, beginning of Judah, they're gonna go wow when this shit happens. When a bunch of niggas get killed by Edomites like that, they're gonna go wow. They're broke. Our people are broke. They're angry. They're anxious. They're drugged up. All you need right now is just one false flag operation. These niggas gonna lose their fucking mind. All right? What?
This is Isaiah 19, verse 17. It says, actually, let me start verse 16. It says, in that day shall Egypt be like a woman, and it shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord, Yahweh of hosts, which he shaketh over. Verse 17, and the land of Judah shall be a terror unto Egypt. Everyone that maketh mention thereof shall be afraid and insulted, because of the counsel of the Lord of hosts, which he has determined against them.
Yeah, that's right, absolutely. So, hey, Jake gonna be out here wrecking havoc, right? Beginning with the so-called black man in America, the so-called Negro, right? From the tribe of Judah, going through wow, man. Because you know the majority of Jakes here, man, they're just waiting for some shit like that to happen. You know what I'm saying? I seen recently some dude that a club owner got evicted and his liquor was out, tossed out in the streets, and niggas was just out there like scavengers. You know, like the marshals had to come in, put cars around the liquor and say, yo, if you take any of this liquor, because he got evicted, so his shit got put out, his liquor got put out in the street. Right? It was somewhere down south. So niggas came out like you know, like vultures. Niggas just, you know, like black women. It was like vultures, black vultures, crows. You know, just sitting there waiting. You know how when they know like a motherfucker about to die. You know, a bunch of bodies bleeding and shit. You're not even dead, but the vultures just already in the tree. Yeah, they really died. They can smell death. Like they'll be sitting in the tree like, yeah, any moment now he's gonna die. Just wait. And that's why these niggas just circling around like vultures, trying to pounce on that liquor. The dude had to call the marshals to come out and make sure his liquor don't get stolen. So niggas are ready, man. Niggas are ready to lose their shit. All right, but as hope on left, we have to understand, we have to watch this from a distance. All right?
In 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 14, it says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and nations shall rise against one another with swords in their hands.
That's right, nations. You're talking about racial, you're going to have a crazy racial atmosphere where people will be shooting each other. All right, and a lot of people packing, man. A lot of people. I'm telling you, you got a lot of people that are packing. You got people that are registered concealed. You got people that a lot of people really they're packing and it's not legal. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are packing. They're packing heat and it's not legal. It's not registered.
Yeah.
But at that point, it won't even matter because bullets will be flying. All right. Like I said, man, I'm telling you, at any point in time. You're just gonna get breaking news with a series of false flag attacks on you Negroes particularly, all right, to get you niggas started, man, right? Because the Rothschilds and the elites, they got plans, and part of the plans to destroy America is to set the Negroes off. Once you set the Negroes off, society is gonna collapse, and it's just gonna be a matter of a couple of days. Because you're gonna have to bring in the National Guard, you're gonna have to bring in the military. That's not gonna be enough. Because you're gonna have people looting, man. With this economy, people just waiting to start a loot, man. They're just waiting for shit to happen so they can loot. All right?
For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and nations shall rise against one another.
Like racial wars. That's what the scripture is talking about. Racial wars. Right?
It says, and nations shall rise against one another with swords in their hands.
Swords in their hands, man. This experimentation that Babylon tried to do and collect all the nations across the world, all 18 nations are represented right here in America. This experimentation is going to turn on Babylon, man. Why? Because you have all these people mixed in together, man. They don't have similar cultures, right? We're not the same, man. You got us all mixed up in a box, a melting pot of scum, right? So now, and the only thing that brought all these people together, right? Israelites and the Indians and all these people, the only thing that brought these people together was what? It was the green. It was the color green. It was the money. It was the dollar bill. It was the talisman called the dollar bill. That's the thing that brought these people together. So now that the talisman is going away, what's happening? People going back to their nation. Let me get that apocrypha, the beast with Sirach. To their lights.
Got a quick precept on it. This is Genesis chapter 25 and 23. This is going into how you were talking about the nations and the race wars, and that a nation isn't where you at in a country, it's who your pedigree goes back to. Genesis 25 and 23, and Yahweh said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb. Right. That's pretty much the point. You know, I could read on, but that's the point.
Yeah, that's right. 2 nations, two different ethnic backgrounds in your room. Right? The Lord can do that. And the Lord did that. And again, what happened? It says the twins were fighting in her stomach. All right, so there was all the hatred going back to the womb. And that's not only Edom, Esau. Esau is the #1 enemy of Jacob. Who is Jacob? The so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Who is Esau? Esau is the father of the Edomites. Who are the Edomites? The Edomites are so-called white race, the so-called European man. All right? And these are basic things that you need to understand. Why? Because when these racial wars and civil unrest kicks in, you need to know what's going on. All right? You can't be a fool going out there and acting stupid because you're going to get your top blown off. Man. Going into the wrong neighborhood and talking crazy. You need to know what's going on. You need to know why are you being persecuted. All right? This is the beast of going to their lights. Because everybody goes back to their nature. You know, now that the economy is being affected, everybody goes back to their nature. And what's their nature is to love their own, right? And reject strangers. Rejecting a stranger has always been a thing. The only reason why the United States had open borders, was what? Was for slave labor. Right? Because listen, You gotta be a damn fool to believe that, yo, hey, the United States is such a human-loving nation. The United States is such a human-loving nation. That's the reason why we have open borders. No. The reason why you have open borders, so you can you can have a flow, a constant flow of what? Of labor, of men and women that will be your slaves. All right? Cheap labor. Primarily, all right, the northern tribes. All right? So primarily the northern tribe of Issachar, the so-called Mexicans.
Uh-huh.
All right? Leading the way, and then all the other tribes coming through the borders for cheap labor. It was always about labor. This is the new Egypt. It was never about feelings. It was never about loving humankind, humanity. You open up your borders for money and labor and slavery. All right?
Man.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 13.
Just think about how Esau hits that shit too.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 13, verse 15.
Yeah.
And it says, every beast loveth his life, and every man loveth his neighbor.
What? Every beast?
Who's gonna
What?
think this?
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 13, verse 15.
What?
It says, every beast
She was going
loveth
somewhere.
his life.
Every beast is gonna love his life, man. All right? And this is nature. This is nature. And what's happening to Babylon now that the economy is collapsing? Every beast is going back to their lives.
Yeah.
That's why I hate racial hatred is going to continue to rise.
They even know that's
All right?
slave labor.
It's going to continue to rise. That's what happened when people no longer have to worry about when people not getting money. They're not enjoying their lives. All of a sudden they're looking left and right and they're seeing people that they don't like. They don't look
I
like
think even in the crowd,
right?
it's like,
Especially if you see the person of that
gotta
race
find that clip.
and they're actually still doing good. Imagine an Edomite right now struggling. An Edomite right now struggling, lost his job because of the pandemic, lost his job, struggling, lost his wife. But you know that's what happens in America. Once you lose your job, you're gonna lose your wife, you're gonna lose your house. So he lost everything. So now he's driving around. He had to downsize, right? He had to downsize from a Navigator, you know what I'm saying, to like on down to like a Toyota or whatever.
fucking everybody.
And then he pulls up at the light and he sees, and he's angry because he's going broke. And then he sees at the light, he sees a damn nigga with, you know what I'm saying, with a damn grill, loud music, you know what I'm saying, and a fucking Porsche, you know what I'm saying, banging, they're not like us. He like, you know, he's sitting there like, man, I done lynched this nigga, man. You know what I'm saying? He's thinking all kinds of hate, man. He's sitting there praying the nigga crash and die at the light, man. He praying the nigga get shot in the head. He doesn't know that nigga, but he praying that nigga die, man. These are the type of hatred, the sentiments that's going on in the market. That was it on that? Yeah, listen.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 13, verse 15.
Right.
And it says that every beast loveth his like, and every man loveth his neighbor.
Right.
All flesh consorted according to kind.
There you go. All flesh consorted according to kind. All right. When you have issues going on, you don't go out to strangers and ask for consort with a stranger. Somebody, a man of a different race who doesn't understand your struggle. Right? You don't go and say, well, all right, let me talk. I'm black. I'm a so-called black man, black Hispanic man. I've been catching hell living in the hood, right? And I'm just fucked up. And then you go and have a therapy with a damn Edomite, a damn cracker who's never been in the hood. Right? You gonna lay on the couch. Yeah, man, I'm going to see my therapist. You grew up in the hood amongst sharks and demons and scorpions. Now you're gonna go and get your mind right with a cracker who ain't never seen a gun in his life. Who ain't never heard a gunshot ever. Never been in a fight, you know what I'm saying, in his life. Doesn't know what a confrontation is about. He just sitting there and telling you about your life and how you got to do that. He's not gonna understand what you're gonna do. Like, you gotta go to your own people.
So it says all flesh consorteth or associate according to God.
Right.
And it says, and a man will cleave to his wife.
Yeah, hey, at the end of the day, when all hell breaks loose, you're gonna cleave to your wife. All right, you're gonna see people that look now. It's gonna be when this thing hit the fan, it's gonna be a problem because you got Negroes out here. You got some super sample Negroes. They're gonna put on their red hat and they're gonna side with Edomites. They're gonna have a barricade in their neighborhood. You know, you got some uppity Negroes, they're gonna be like, hey. They're gonna be talking to other Edomites and say, hey, we hate niggas too. You know what I'm saying? Because whether you do it or not, there's a group of Negroes called the black bourgeoisie. Right? They're quiet, they make decent money, they're part of the fraternities, they live in great neighborhoods, and they hate niggas too. They hate pants sagging niggas, rapping niggas, athlete niggas, they hate all the low, they call them low class Negroes. Because the average Negro is low class, but then you have the upper class Negro that you don't really hear about. And he's also a millionaire. He went to the high school, the Harvards and all that. Right? He also hates niggas. So when this shit happens, when this shit hit the fan, he gonna go to his Edomite neighbors, they gonna be like, hey, pass the guns, we gonna put the barricade, and trust us, we will shoot anything that's darker than a brown baby. You know what I'm saying? Hey, for real, man. Well, it's gonna get crazy. You can't really just be like, well, it's just gonna be all black people against all. Nah, this shit gonna be divided in race and class. It's gonna be all types of crazy shit. Oh, but also on the flip side, you're gonna have a whole bunch of white chocolate niggas, wiggers, right? They're gonna be out here associated with niggas. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be out here like, doing their thing. They all be like a lot of them deal with black women. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them deal with black women. They call them wiggers and white chocolate. I had to tell the sister at the job, I was like, listen, man, you got to understand. I told her, listen, you have to evolve. And I literally pulled up my phone. I was like, there's a quarterback called Patrick Mahomes. Right? I'm like, Patrick Mahomes' father is a black man, so-called black man, right? His mother was white, Edomite. Now, you look at Patrick Mahomes' wife now, she's an Edomite, right? His children look like Edomite. And I told her, well, look at Patrick Mahomes' children. Now, the reason why you tripping, you don't understand why this cracker right here can't jump, but this other cracker can jump is because of this. This is the reason why. She's I was like, yeah. I was like, that's why I was like, yeah, now you've evolved. You've evolved now, man. That's called going with the spirit. So you're gonna have Jakes amongst our people, and guess what? You also have Edomites amongst us. You have niggas that are Edomites, ruthless, cold-hearted Negro, but look like Edomites, right? Now, do you have a whole rack of them? There's something in there. The scripture tells you there's something in there.
Yeah.
Right? But the thing is, eventually, Jake, they get outbred. Jake. You know what I'm saying? Even my bloodline won't last too long, but it's going to be because the black woman will step out. You best believe your loyal sister, black woman, she does sleep with Edomites behind your back. What are you doing right now? And she'll get pregnant with a white man that's
Hell no.
Second Ezra chapter 15, starting out to 14, it says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and nations shall rise against one another with swords and their hands. Like, for there shall be no constancy with the people, and when one overpowers the other, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and practice violence in all their dealings.
Yeah, the kings and the princes right there is talking about the politicians. When you go into the kings and princes, it's talking about the leaders of the provinces. It's talking about the governors. It's talking about the politicians. When the Civil War kicks in, a lot of these politicians, they're going to be hung on poles, man. It's going to be a sight to see. Yep. These politicians out here, these pedophilic politicians, people going to be looking for them. Who else? Newscasters, news reporters. All them CNN dudes, they're going to be running for their lives. Because the people know. The people know now. The people know that CNN and all these damn, news, mainstream media, the people know that these people work for the Rothschilds. So when all hell breaks loose and the people know that they can take these people out without going to jail, without prosecution, it's going to be some craziness, man. There's gonna be some craziness.
I mean, and you know, this place, Babylon the Great wouldn't be the Roman Empire all over again if it didn't suffer the same fate. Because during the Roman Empire, they had suffered from political war, political uprising, and as well as class uprising as well.
Yep.
So they suffered the same fate.
Yeah, I remember when Julius Caesar came from his conquest and he crossed the Rubicon, right? That's why you ever heard of that word like Jeep? The Jeep has like Jeep Rubicon.
Yeah.
The Rubicon is a river. It was a border. You couldn't use the military. You couldn't use the military. And just like right now, Posse Comitatus, you can't have the military in the United States sword. Well, the fact that Caesar knew that there was a plot going on to basically take him out. So he came back, they said, well, Caesar, we need you to come back and leave your army outside of Rome. He's like, fuck no, I know what y'all trying to do. So he came in with the army, took over, right? He crossed the Rubicon, came with the army, took over, and initiated martial law. And I remember martial law, he had this paper scroll with the names of all of his enemies. Yeah, he had the scroll with the name of all his political enemies, and they went out there and fetched them, got them. Guess what? They all got their head chopped off. And this is ancient Rome. This was supposed to be highest level of civilization. Well, everybody knows when the shit hit the fan, the shit hit the fan. You can have your skyscrapers, you can have your arts and civilizations, and the proud women and all that, but when all hell, when it's time for blood, it's time for blood.
That kind of remind me of why they don't want to put out that Epstein list with celebrities and all that. Because if shit do go down and you on that list, you see what I'm saying? You know these bad good guys and crazy. They're gonna be like, you know, dudes will go to jail forever. Oh, this dude's a child rapist or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
You got people that take that stuff, you know, to the ultimate, you know, seriously. You know, which I mean, it is what it is. I mean, these are filthy crimes. But my thing is, I'm always amazed at how dudes are so gung-ho about, hey man, you slept with a 15-year-old, man. You supposed to be, you know, you supposed to be hung by your balls. And I'm like, but you ain't got no smoke for a politician who's stealing your money and sitting in the what's up with that? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's up? Like, you got this baby mother terrorist bringing you to the enemy, right? And you ain't got no smoke. You got this wicked institution called the IRS that's stealing your money, you know, like just every year. You ain't got no smoke for me. But you got smoke for a dude who slept with a 15-year-old, and by the way, she was a willing participant. Stop it, man. Stop it. This is called selective outrage. Let me not be outraged at the devil. I'm just gonna be outraged at this little man. Even the Lord, we get all Ephesians 12. Listen not against listen not against flesh and blood. Because even the Lord tells you, man, you don't crash out on little people. That's basically what the scripture is saying. Got it?
This is the book of Ephesians, chapter.
It's Isaiah chapter 10 and verse 1. It says, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness with which they have prescribed.
This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 1. I'm gonna start at verse.
No, that's 2 Corinthians 10.
Also not against
Ephesians 5. Shoot, oh, shoot, no, I'm thinking of something else. Yeah, 6 and 11. Yeah. I was thinking of something.
I was thinking about 11 something like that.
This is the book of Ephesians,
I
chapter.
was thinking 5.
This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 11. And it says, put on the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand against the power of the devil. Right. It says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood.
Like it says, we wrestle not against flesh and blood. Now, let me see if we can read that in that. Because, again, like I said, that's selective outrage that, especially me, Like you see Negroes get all hyped. Hey man, she a little girl, man. She like, oh, she was a willing participant. Right? And by the way, the scripture says that the woman is of the flower of age, like it is, she got, but dudes just lose their mind. But then on the flip side, you see an old broad giving head to a 12-year-old boy in school. And it's like crickets. I'm like, well, what's the outrage, bro? It's like no outrage. You got the politicians at the very top, sucking the money in. You have the IRS, stealing your money. You got your baby mama terrorists, that demon that's taking you to child support, right? You have your ex-wife demon putting you in lifetime alimony, but you don't crash out. You know what I'm saying? So, but the Lord said, man, listen, you don't crash out on little people. We crash out on the Rothschilds. That's what we do. That's the reason why we ain't doing that, because the only people that have our attention is the Rothschilds and Rockefeller, the elites of the society. We don't crash out on no nigga, no regular cracker. Our ultimate goal, because remember, we are the elite force of the whole society. So first, we're supposed to worry about the elite force of Satan, man, which is, the elite don't eat a beef show. All right? Go ahead.
This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 11 in the NLT. And it says, for we are not fighting against flesh and blood.
See, we're not fighting against flesh and blood, right?
We're not fighting against flesh and blood enemies,
Right?
but against evil rulers and authorities of the unseen world.
Those are your enemies. Evil rulers and authorities of the unseen world. The people that go out and do child sacrifices. Like people living in palaces when they have male and female, little male and female child servants, sex slaves. All right, people that come up with all types of rules and laws to destroy the nation of Israel. All right, the people that have funded the slavery and enslavement of the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native brothers. Those are the people that we look at and like, yeah, we crash out with you. How do you do that spiritually? Because once you crash out, when I looked up the definition, it says it's a decision that you make that you know at the end of it, you stand to lose everything.
Kamikaze.
Right, kamikaze takes it. Well, guess what? Haven't we lost everything? We said, man, all of this is nothing. All right, let me get that Philippians 3 up. Let me get Philippians 3 in. And then we we using the term because somebody said, why would you use the term crash out? Well, hey, listen, we're Israelites. We talk to our people because the way that our people talk. We're not gonna be out here, Paul spoke about, he didn't use the word, he spoke about, what is it, Paul's favorite term was persuading. Persuade, the word persuade. I'm persuaded. I'm well persuaded that you were persuaded. Paul, that was one of Paul's favorite terms. Why? Because you have to be pliable, right? You have to be able to adjust, right? You can't talk to Negroes in 2024 and you talk like it's 1975 or something. Now you got to use the lingo, the terminology, and flip it on them. Spiritually. That's how you do with Israelites, all right? We're not going to come out here and try to speak proper. We weren't raised to speak proper English. All right? The United States English is not even proper English. Proper English is the King's English. And the way the United States English is now is really, the way it is, the way we speak, all of it is really through Jake, beginning with Judah on down, just mangling the language and making it some new shit. You know what I'm saying? What we speak ain't even English. It's just some weird form of English. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Communicate effectively.
That's right.
Yeah.
What's the apostle Paul did in different situations.
Hey, you're not gonna come to a Jake Jake didn't even graduate out of high school, and you coming out here dumping Harvard terminologies on him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, hey man, hey listen, black man, there's a plethora of plethora. Jake would look at you, what's a plethora?
Yeah. I mean, that concept even exists in other cultures. They call it a dialect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And our people, to be honest, the majority of Israel is low class. Why? Because we are the poor. We are the Israelites. All right? We're the ones, we're the downtrodden. That's the reason why the majority of Israel is low class. So a low class has what? Low class education, low class in speech, low piss poor morals. These are the Israelites, right?
I got a quick precept, if I may, based on the topic at hand. This is 1 Corinthians 9 and 19. It says, "For though I be free of all men, yet have I made myself servant unto all, that I may gain the more. And unto the Jews I became as a Jew."
That's what it means to be pliable. You have to be pliable, right?
"That I might gain the Jews.
That's right.
To them that are under the law as under the law, that I might gain them that are under the law. To them that are without law as without law, being not without law to Yahweh, but under the law to Yahweh Shah, that I might gain them that are without law."
Yeah, and it sounds like a mind game, right? It sounds like a Jedi mind, but I'm gonna be honest, it is Jedi. But it's because remember, everything comes in twos, right? If you can manipulate a man to do evil, you can also manipulate a man to do righteousness. And guess what? The Lord will be pleased if you're able to manipulate a man to do righteousness, to become righteous. That's called persuasion. That's why there's something called the power of persuasion. The spiritual power is to be able to change a man's view, especially from wickedness into righteousness. This is the true, quote-unquote, Jedi mind tricks. All right?
That's the ultimate form of persuasion.
That nigga turned his music down as soon as he went down the street, bro.
As you can see, people get persuaded to do wickedness all day.
Wicked, bro.
Persuade somebody to do righteous, the ultimate wickedness, the ultimate power.
That's right. Let's get that precept right now. Yeah.
It's Philippians 3, verse 7 says, "But what things were gained to me, those I counted loss for Yahushua." Verse 8, "Yea, doubtless, and I count all things but
Like Shah Paul really again.
This is Philippians 3, verse 7. It says, "But what things were gained to me, those I counted loss for Yahushua."
Come on. I left my car. And,
That's what you do when you ready to crash out, basically. It's like, man, I don't give a damn. They're like, oh, you don't want to be rich in America? No, I don't. You don't want to have multiple cars and a big house? No, I don't. Now, really? You don't want all the multitude of plethora of bad bitches? No, I don't. So now the Rothschild is like, oh, you're a problem. Because once you already say that you don't want none of this shit, yeah, you're a big problem. You're a dangerous person in the spirit. And yes, we are dangerous in the spirit. We're a threat to the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers, to our enemies. All right, which is a great thing. You're supposed to be a threat to your enemies. You ain't supposed to have your enemies laughing at you while you out here dancing and entertaining like a monkey. Because you got this monkey season coming up, NFL, right? And all the monkeys gonna be entertaining. And the enemies just sitting there like, yeah, we got all these gladiators, these monkeys entertaining us. We still got them. We still got them throwing balls around. As long as you keep a nigga throwing balls, right? Basketballs, footballs, baseball, soccer. Just get these niggas to keep pushing the ball somewhere. We gonna keep them down. But they look at us, the men of the Lord, they're like, well, these dudes, they don't want to push no ball. They don't want bad bitches. They don't want big cars. They don't want none of this shit. And then they're looking at us, primarily the men of Great Millstone. They're looking at us like, these dudes are real problem. And it's so bad, even in other camps that attempted and that do want to go back into the world and get the thing, they're looking at us like, man, these dudes are really a problem. You know, they call us bum lights. Because they're like, man, these dudes really don't want to win out here. No, we don't want to win here. Well, we made that clear, we don't want to win here. All right? Go ahead.
Verse 8, "Yea, doubtless, and I count all things but loss for the excellency of the knowledge of Yahushua, my Lord, for whom I have suffered the loss of all things,
That's right.
and do count them but dung."
Man, that's dumb. That's nonsense. It's nothing. All these cars and these so-called cars are trash. It needs fuel. We want engines that's gonna be fueled by the spirit, and we want virgin women, not old ran down whores. All right? We don't want that. We want palaces, not a fucking box called an apartment. All right? All right?
Verse 8, "That I may win Yahushua."
That's anointing. I may win Yahushua, man. And that's our purpose. That's our duty. That's our calling. And Lord willing to be part of the elect to win. Allah Yahushua, man. So with that, we're going to say, Crown Allah.
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, B'Kakadash.
We give a double honor to our apostles and elders of great millstone and Shalom. Salutation. All you say, I can cross the four winds. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.